Out-of-the-Box Homeschooling. This is Dana Susan Beasley of angelarts.biz. Today I'm going to talk about how you can spark that love of learning in your student. Now, let me just tell you my story in order to share that with you. So when my son was in kindergarten and first grade, he went to a private Christian school. And sadly, they almost destroyed his love of learning because they relied so much on workbooks. And what I learned from that is that my son is hands-on, he's kinesthetic, and he does not learn in the traditional schooling way. In fact, really, most kids don't. And so I took him home, started homeschooling, and I realized that I was not going to bring traditional school at home. I was going to approach things completely differently, and that's what we've done all of his life. So we've done unit studies and a lot of unschooling. In fact, I gave him the opportunity, I just gave him a lot of time so that he can explore ideas on his own. And he learned about dinosaurs, he learned about World War II, he learned about zoology, all amazing things that I could not have taught him. He would not have remembered that. So that's why I want to encourage you, if you want to bring that love of learning to your child, then don't think of it as homeschooling. Think of it as life schooling, because there are some great tools that you can have to be able to do that. For instance, the unit studies that I used Konos. I loved Konos. And then the unschooling, delight, directed learning, student-led learning, that was very effective for us. And then there are other tools that, people will like when they talk about this, when people talk or when mothers talk about this subject, things like project-based learning. That's really important. I think about, in a part of the unit study that we did was creating a tabernacle, a model of the tabernacle, and that was really beneficial and lots of fun. It was lots of work, but he learned a lot, and it was a great family project. And then we even were able to show that in an art show later. It's something that we still have today, and something hopefully that he remembers. And so, and also when you think about life schooling, you have to think of, like traveling. Traveling is a great way to learn. I know a couple of years ago, we went to Texas and New Mexico. We went to Carlsbad Caverns, and we went to a desert zoo, and there's a lot of different things that we did that were, yes, educational, but at the same time, it was fun and interesting. And so think about things like that. A lot of people like Charlotte Mason, that's something to investigate. But thinking about ways that they can learn that are completely out of the box. That's why I do these out of the box homeschooling. One of the things that I talk about over and over again is how I took the addition chart and I drew it onto a shower curtain, and then I blew up balloons, and I put the balloons on some select spaces, and I would read off a formula, and Sam would shoot it with his airsoft gun. And that was something very memorable. And then of course, hands-on science experiments are always a lot of fun. But thinking about those kinds of life schooling activities can really help your child. Think about it. Do you remember what you studied in school? Do you remember the dates that you had to memorize? No, I doubt it. Very few of them. I know for me, when I look back on my education, the thing that I remember most about homeschooling, or not homeschooling, I didn't homeschool, but what I remember most was in elementary school when we played this role-playing game about it was about the Oregon Trail. And I remember the Oregon Trail. I remember that about school. And that's about the only good thing, shall we say, that I remember about elementary school. So that's another thing that you can do to bring the love of learning. Because really, we learn best when we're happy, when we're having fun, not when we're stressed out and crying like we used to do when my son and I, when he was in first grade especially. So they learn best by having fun, and so do you, I guarantee it. And so you can You can learn while you're having fun, like playing a game, like a role-playing game. Very, very beneficial. And, for instance, the other day I was watching a game that my son was playing about pirates. And on this game, he was learning geography, he was learning history, he was learning types of boats, who knows what other kinds of things that he was learning. I could have sat him down and listed all those kind of boats, for 45 minutes. Do you think he would remember the next day? No, of course not. So game schooling is a very, very key way to get that love of learning for your kids. One of my favorite games that we have is called the Constitution game, and it has history and the Constitution and all sorts of things in it. I love that game. And even playing things like Catan, it really teaches you a lot of things about trading, about strategy. And Pictionary and Balderdash. There's so many games out there that can help, like Monopoly, teaching how to use money. There's just so much out there. You could spend your whole time game schooling. I just bet, in fact, this is my goal, is to figure out how to do this and not have any kind of academic work. Because here's the truth, not every student is quote unquote academic. I happen to like to study. I did well in school, but that's just me. That was my learning style. But even I, when I was a child, I would find, if I was just slightly sick, I would ask my mom if I could stay home. You know what I did? I would read these books that I had about language arts. A lot of them was about writing poetry or reading poetry. And I would create a roster of students, and then I would make assignments. I would do the assignments, then I would grade it. Oh my gosh, I was destined to be a homeschooling teacher. What can I say? But, that's how I learned to write poetry. I did not learn that from school. I taught myself. So think about things like that, because like I said, not all children are academically inclined, and that's okay. There's such a thing as multiple intelligences. People learn in different ways. It doesn't make them less valuable or more stupid or anything than another person who might be a big bookworm. That's okay. You find the way that they learn best, and then you help them do that. That's what I've done with my son, rhymed, all these years, and I keep doing that to help him, guide him through to when he finishes high school. So think about that. That truly is out of the box homeschooling, is to, I just know there's a way to do this. Just forget the academics, just purely games and role playing and things like that. All right. So, and really when it gets down to it, the best way to relate to your child and to build a relationship with them is through play. One of the things that we've done is we go hiking at least once a week, and my son's very interested in cryptozoology. That's an interest of his, and you know what? It's kind of mine too. So we bonded over that, and we go hiking and we observe nature and we listen to the sounds, and it makes it so much more interesting. And we don't even, we're in a sense doing school, but we're not. It's not like we're thinking about it that we're doing school, but we're doing something really educational at the root of it. It's life school. So anyway, I know I've kind of rambled on, but this is a passion of mine. So playing with your kid is so important. It's not just for those 3, 4, 5-year-olds who, do all that role playing, pretend play, like playing store and so forth, but play is for every human being on this planet. In fact, every animal plays to some degree. So play is for the teenagers. Play is for you. You need to learn how to play, and that's going to bring that joy back. So if you want to learn more about incorporating play into your homeschool, into your parenting, I got this little book called The Lost Art of Play. You can learn to be the hero of your child's life and his homeschool or her homeschool. So it's a very, very quick read, and it's going to give you practical ideas on how to play with your child, what kinds of things that you can do with your child, and it's going to also show you why play is important. All right, so you can check that out on our website. I'll have the link below. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening or watching. This is Dana Susan Beasley of angelarts.biz. Together, may we reach new heights in our homeschooling and beyond.